Hello you most beautiful and most amazing top 10ers, how are you feeling today? I'm Rebecca Felgate and I don't want to depress you or anything, but today we are talking the top 10 shocking Disney deaths. Landon did such a good job with part 1 that we have decided to give you a whole new dose of shockers. It's gonna be like you're watching the movie, then all of a sudden, can't believe they died, that kind of thing. So let's get going, shall we? In at number 10, we have Elsa and Anna's parents from Frozen. Aw, this one's really sad. So a lot like Up from Landon's part 1, much of the sadness in this Disney movie happens in the first 10 minutes of the film. To try and cure Elsa of her freezy hand disorder, Elsa and Anna's parents go on a journey. Unfortunately, they are killed at sea during a storm. This is shocking and distressing on many levels, leaving their troubled children as orphans. From undeserved deaths to one that was coming for a while, in at number 9, we have Scar. I mean, the whole thing is pretty dramatic in the first place. The Pride Lands are burning as we witness the ultimate battle for power and justice. As Scar admits that he was to blame for Mufasa's death, things turn nasty between him and Simba. Simba decides to spare Scar's life, but Scar abuses his kindness and tries to kill him. We then witness a shocking and terrifying fight between the two lions that ends with Scar falling from a ledge and then being savaged by hyenas. Wow. In at number 8, we have Sitka's death from Brother Bear. The 2003 Disney movie Brother Bear is set in a post-Ice Age North America and follows the story of an indigenous tribe. The youngest of the three brothers, Kenai, angers a bear, which then leads to an attack that results in a pretty shocking death. Sitka breaks off a part of a glacier that he and the bear are standing on, sacrificing his own life as he falls to his death to protect his brothers. And we're all like, no! He really was the best brother. In at number 7, we have the blender death from Brave Little Toaster. In case you were unaware, Disney does indeed have a movie about a brave little toaster and his various other household appliance friends. Before you get judgy on the quality of this movie, remember that if you can love Wally, you can absolutely love a toaster. He's very brave after all. There is a creepy and terrifying scene where the appliances end up in some kind of appliance parts store, where the store owner tries to dismantle the items and extract the bits that are still valuable. There is a horrifying moment that the toaster and friends watch the man take apart an alive blender. Disney focuses in on the shadows on the wall, making it look very much like an actual murder. From death by dismantling to death by boulder, in at number 6 we have the witch's death from Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. In the original story of Snow White, the evil queen chokes and dies, but that was not enough for Disney, who thought that she ought to die most horribly. The dwarves chase the queen up a cliff, she then decides to roll a boulder down to try and crush them, but before she is able to act, lightning strikes and she falls off the cliff with the boulder rolling after her. If the fall didn't kill her, the rock certainly did. Disney even lets us glimpse some of the vultures flying off to peck at her remains. Lovely. In at number 5, we have Syndrome's death in The Incredibles. I mean, I totally understand that some villains need to be taught a lesson, but do they deserve to be so brutally killed off by Disney? Do we need to know that they've been savaged by hyenas, bludgeoned with a boulder and then hacked at by vultures, or in the case of our next villain, sucked into a jet engine and chopped into pieces? Gross. In The Incredibles, there is a villain by the name of Syndrome who is desperate to take down the Incredible family. So much so that he tries to murder a few of them and abduct the youngest member. Okay, so actually maybe I guess he deserves what he gets. As Syndrome is on the wing of a plane, Bob throws a car at him, causing him to fall and get sucked into the engine, which then causes the plane to explode. So it's like exploding body parts in the sky. The worst kind of firework. Next up, we have Disney's leading chauvinist. In at number 4, we have Gaston's death in Beauty and the Beast. I for one was majorly shocked by this death. Gaston is an absolute idiot throughout the entire movie, eventually leading a mob to the Beast's castle under the guise of rescuing Belle. But really, it's all just one big ego trip. Gaston shoots the Beast with an arrow, but isn't satisfied with the pain that he's in, he then tries to fight him further. After hearing Belle's voice, he bests Gaston, who grovels for his life. When the Beast spares him, he repays the favour by stabbing him in the back. Unfortunately for Gaston, karma finds him and he slips, falling from a turret of the great castle. If you think that he could have somehow survived the fall, think again. There are indeed a few sneaky frames that show a skull and crossbones in his pupils. Honey was a goner. Shocking, Sure, but not as shocking as another death in the same film. Now this one is not shocking in terms of who dies, but shocking as to who the killer is. In at number 3, we have the killer wardrobe from Beauty and the Beast. To be honest, the whole castle invasion scene is absolute carnage. It's a high-octane massacre. Many of Gaston's men are killed in horrible ways. Now I'm a really big fan of the wardrobe. She's like my soul sister. However, I was completely shocked when she jumped from a ledge in order to crush an invader. She was like, who saw it coming? Not me. Shocking. In at number 2, we have Kocoum's death in Pocahontas. In Disney's 1995 movie Pocahontas, the title character lives in a tribe in Virginia and fears being married to her fellow tribesman, Kocoum. He's a brave warrior, but she just doesn't want to be with him. Pocahontas meets English settler John Smith, and despite their differences, they fall for one another. Kocoum sees his bride-to-be kiss the Englishman and lashes out. This results in a shocking fight and ends in another English officer shooting him. As he is shot, we see the reaction in his face. He grabs Pocahontas' necklace, once belonging to her dead mother, as he falls backwards, snapping the jewelry. He lands in a pool of water, where he dies. His body is later recovered by tribesmen. Okay, so we have reached that all-important moment in our top 10 shocking Disney deaths part 2. Our number 1 gets the spot because A, it's so graphic, and B, we actually get to see the body, which is very shocking. In at number 1, we have the Stegosaurus death in Fantasia. In Disney's cult classic Fantasia, one section, called The Rite of Spring, depicts the formation of the Earth and its inhabitants by dinosaurs. It all seems to be going well for a group of happy herbivores until, carnivore T-Rex absolutely on the loose. T-Rex ruins all of the fun and the majority of the pacifist dinosaurs run away, leaving one really slow Stegosaurus behind. Walt Disney takes no prisoners as the T-Rex savages the other dinosaur, biting its neck until it dies. How do we know it's dead? Well, we can see its cold dead vacant face with a slack tongue in a pool of water. Yeah, shocking. Disney, you've ruined many things, although I guess that's just life and we all need to learn. So that was the top 10 shocking deaths in Disney movies part 2. Shall we make a part 3? Do let me know in the comments section down below. Also, if you feel like I've missed anything out, let me know. Be like, Rebecca, hey, what about such and such's death? And I'll be like, oh, you're so right. And then I'll use it to make a part 3. Wow. I'm Rebecca Felgate, this has been Most Amazing Top 10. You guys can catch up with me on Instagram, Twitter, and my own YouTube channel, Rebecca Felgate Official. But for now, if you like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up, share it with a friend, and of course, make sure you're subscribed to Most Amazing Top 10.